nothing's blown up yet, so that's a good sign. Yes, we are going to survive up here. Cannot build on rough ice. Cannot build on smooth ice. Don't tell me I need concrete. Come on, heat up, heat up, heat up. Why is it not heating? Oh god, okay, we got problems. The temperature has fallen. Oh no, we're out of water. It's over. No! No! Okay, so over here we can do some more crushers. This is purely just going to make ice. We don't want to make anything else. I can't really tell if this is going to solve the ice problem though. But because we're out of ice here, what I really need is some kind of central asteroid processing area. Okay, what if we change this up? What if this whole area up here was the asteroid processing? No, wait, what if that's all the ammo, because we need frontal defense? And then what if all this down here was orange fuel on the left, blue fuel on the right, and then all the asteroid processing can go in the middle piece here? I don't really want to do a whole redesign, but it looks like I'm going to have to. Okay, so let's deconstruct all of this. We can process our fuels down here. 3 of those was enough. And then if all of our rocks come down into one final spot, ready to be processed into stuff, we need to then do a little bit of work figuring out what of each item we actually need. So, first things first, let's get a crusher going on here. And then if we do a circuit up here, we need to read from an arithmetic combinator. We need ice first, because if we don't have water, we don't have power, the whole ship dies. So if there's no ice, we can do it, we can read off this. So if ice is 0, then this thing needs to become oxide asteroid crushing. Set recipe. Oh wait, do we need an actual combinator to be able to do that? What does a decider do? Oh, the decider might be what we're actually after. Okay, so let's try this. If ice is equal to 0, maybe we can say is less than something like 30, then the output's going to be to make ice. I've never used these combinators before, just the arithmetics ones. This might actually be the answer we need. And they're just going to destroy the whole Glebber factory. Alright, whatever. Okay, here's our combinators. So that's going to build this up. There we go. That sets the recipe. Do we have an else? I guess not, but we can say if this guy is equal to 0, because it's equal to 1 at the moment because we have no ice. But if this is equal to 0 because we do have ice... No, hang on. We don't want to crush it. We don't want to... Ooh, hang on. We don't want to crush it to ice. We want this to be to reprocess everything else into ice. Oh god, my brain. This needs to pull ice off. Then I'm thinking we can have a loop going around. Yeah, this might be working. Okay, and then we need to get the calcite out of there. And then the calcite can do something here. Alright, the next thing we need is we need to turn these rocks into something. Okay, that's the iron ore. Iron needs to go to here. And then it also needs to travel back up north. Copper can end up on the other side, but we need to smelt the copper. So let's quickly do that here. Should be able to chuck some speed modules on this one, actually. Okay, then we need the carbon. So, carbonic chunks. Carbon chunks need to get over to here, and they need to be processed into weapons, into explosives. How do we make explosives again? Coal and sulfur, and coal was done in a chemical plant. Okay, our coal's coming out of here. There's our carbon for the fuel. Next thing is, okay, water's still dropping. Not good, because we're out of ice. This is the part where we start reading the belt. So let's grab our combinator. Let's read off this belt. Oops. If ice is less than, I don't know, 30, we output a signal which says we need to reprocess ice. We need to get that signal down somewhere that we can then reprocess. Actually, we could just do it up here. Yep. Okay, so if we add a detour, these guys will then reprocess all of this into ice. So then we can have a splitter that decides on left or right based on if we're out of ice or not. If we're out of ice, it'll send all the rocks to the right And these guys will pick it all up to be turned into all the other good stuff. Hopefully that'll give us some more ice. We need to get some power poles to carry that signal across. There we go. Now we just need actual rocks to process. Yes, the water's going up. Alright, we might have just done this. Since we're not using any of this space, we might as well put solar panels in it. Actually, no, we can fit storage modules here now. Oh yeah, look at all that space we're gonna have. Somehow, we made this even more space efficient than before. I don't know how, and I am getting the bad feeling that I'm forgetting something because of it. But everything seems to be working, so... yeah, now that we're moving, we're starting to get rocks again, so... ice is filled up, which means the signal up here... hang on, how much is going on that? Okay, let's change this. If fish equals 1, otherwise if fish equals 0, we go back to the other side. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, okay, so if we have less than 30, then we say fish. And then if we hear fish over here, then we send all the rocks to this side, which will then get processed back into, hopefully, ice. And hopefully that'll keep our water supply topped up. So once we get to Aquilo, I'm going to put the brakes on the ship and we're going to go down to the surface and try this again. Here we are making touchdown again. I think this is the 3rd time now we've made touchdown. We've got the lithium over there, we've got crude oil here, and we have fluorine up there. Let's build our base, probably as central as we can to everything. I brought oil refineries this time because we need to turn the crude oil into petroleum. Nice. All right, that's going to give us a little bit of power to get started with, and then we need to heat this. So if we get started with a bit of nuclear fuel, that should last us a bit of time. Okay, surprisingly it doesn't. Interesting. This is going to very slowly make solid fuel, which is then going to go straight into the heating tower. That's hopefully going to be a contained loop that should be self-sustaining, except we're out of power, so I need to put some more fuel in there. In the meantime, we should just keep running around and collecting ice platforms. This is having a serious drain on our battery power and our reactors. This here is our fluorine vent, so we can't put a pump jack on it yet, but I can put some concrete on it, and that'll mark it. Lucky the robots don't freeze. Yeah, it is very lucky. Somehow, we've got to get a heat pipe over there, but we'll worry about that later. Wow, okay, that is a lot of crude oil. Maybe this spot is actually not a good spot to start in. Maybe I should pack up and move somewhere else. Okay, maybe we fly around and have a quick look around, see what we've got. Looks like we have just a lot of crude oil around. Ideally, ooh, hang on. Here, what's this? We got fluorine vents. Quite a lot of them. Ideally, I think we'd want to find the 3 types of vents close to each other, because then we don't have to pipe them very far. Oh, wait, here we go. Lithium brine, 170... Wait a minute. Oh, okay, so this is... Wow, okay, this is the first liquid, or the first fluid, that isn't a percentage. We got more lithium up here. It's like we got more fluorine over here on the left. It'd be really nice if we can find an island where there's just all 3 just right next to each other, or overlapping at least. But this is looking like the best spot so far, but we do need a lot of platforms. As deadly as the cold is, this is quite an aesthetically pleasing planet. I will be honest. Okay, let's deconstruct this. And then we're going to cut all of this. We're relocating. And then somewhere in the middle here is probably going to be the best spot. We need to plonk down the pump jack on top of the oil. That looks like it. Okay, how many platforms is that? 65. Not nearly enough. Wow, okay, this is going to be a lot of ice platforms. Oh, we can deconstruct the ice platforms. That's nice. But we can't deconstruct the ones that already came with the planet. That's a little bit of a shame. It is terribly slow, but we have solid fuel, so that's good. Oh, I forgot to put the cargo pad down. Dang it. We have ice melting, which is turning into water, which will eventually turn into steam once this reaches an appropriate temperature. So I'm going to chuck some fuel into here. We can do a little water tank here as well. Okay, cryogenic plant researched. All right, nice. So then once we make a cryogenic plant, we can get started on the rest of the recipes, which is a Cryogenic Science Pack, which needs ice, lithium plate, and fluoroketones. Now, this is where we got stuck last time. We need to be able to first make a self-sustaining heating and power system using the liquid here, which I learned how to pronounce. Ammoniacal solution. There we go. Big brain. And then we can make solid fuel from ammonia and ammonia rocket fuel. Now, the problem I had last time, we were making so much ice, more ice than we could actually turn into water and turn into steam. This was a little bit of a problem, but then I saw another recipe further down in the chain. The Cryogenic Science Pack actually consumes ice. So we don't need to start burning it like crazy and turning it into power. We can actually just straight up turn it into Cryogenic Science Packs. Temperature is at 430 and rising. Nice. We're nearly at 500. And yes, we now have power. Oh boy, we have power. How quick is this going to go? Target is full. Ooh, tanks are full. It's nice to see, which means we can finally put speed modules in here instead of efficiency. I quite like this now. I've been researching mining productivity while I've been doing all this as well, which should hopefully help us, well, with mining, which should also make things like drilling this liquid a lot more efficient because we don't need to use so many pump jacks. Let's put a pipe down here. Okay, and then we need to put this into a tank. And we need to turn this into water, which can be done through ice and ammonia. Actually, we have a slight issue here. I need to get a heat pipe across. If I do a heat pipe like that, it's going to heat these up, but then I also need to get a heat pipe going across here. Okay, that'll work. And then we can get our inserter, a chest. Okay, so that's going to fill up the ice chest, which is exactly what we need. And then we can do extra processing over here with the ammonia. So we need to turn the ammonia into solid fuel. We need ammonia on one side and we need crude oil on the other side. Ooh. I suppose if we just do something crazy like this. There we go, that keeps that heated. So that's going to make us solid fuel. Now we need to turn the solid fuel into rocket fuel. We can do that with ammonia and water. Okay. I've done it again, haven't I? I've made this too compact. I need to get a pipe coming down here for the water. If we moved everything down slightly, like that, and all that connects up. Okay, cool. Wow, we lost a lot of temperature. Oh, that is not good. Okay, so that's rocket fuel. Very, very slow rocket fuel, but that's rocket fuel. Yeah, this takes forever. 10 seconds. How quick is the regular? Oh, 15 seconds. Okay. No, this is quicker. Ah, we got our lithium plates. Okay, we might as well try and make cryogenic plant. There's no way we can make this more efficient, can we? Would a second heating tower help? I mean, we got the rocket fuel here. I suppose we don't have to get this rocket fuel over into this tower. We could just build a second tower down here. Yeah, let's do that. So we can run a cable into there. So the trick really is to just not build heat pipes too quickly. Okay, we got our science packs because we have our cryogenic plant. I put this down and make more cryogenic plants from it instead. We can't do productivity models. Okay, whatever. The heat doesn't transfer through the heating towers, so maybe this might help if we connect this up. Okay, we're out of ammonia. Why are we out of ammonia? Because the ice is full. Oh, the ice chest is full. Oh no. Yeah, this ice is becoming a bit of an issue. Power, come on. 450, come on, we're nearly there. Come on, 470, it's so close. We just need that power online. No, it's falling, it's falling, it's falling. No, come on, come on. That's 500, 500, nice. We've got power. So everything should start speeding up now, I think. Nope, hang on, temperature just dropped. I need more fuel. Okay, that gets the power back online. Alright, sweet. Okay, so with the power back online, this all needs to start going quicker. So does this. Oh, hang on. This ice is such a big problem. The biggest problem is we need to get the ice out of here quickly. We could run it out the side. So if we had a belt going like that, we could run it out the side. We would need to make sure that's heated, and then we can do a tunnel underneath. Okay, we really need to get rid of this ice quickly. This isn't working out. Okay, so what we need is a way to get rid of that ice quickly, and to do that, we can use Cryogenic Science Packs, but to do that, we also need fluoroketone, and then we need to cool that. Okay, I think ammonia for our fuel source, not gonna cut it. Oh, okay, I'm having a brainwave. I'm having a thing, guys. I've just had a genius idea. I've had a genius idea. If I instead make light oil, I can then use light oil and all of this solid fuel to then make rocket fuel. That's going to be a lot better. Okay, we need to crack this. All right, now we're cooking. That's going to make us some rocket fuel. Heat's climbing. Yeah, that is actually climbing. That is actually climbing. Oh my goodness, we might have just done it. But now we're no longer relying on the ammonia to make us our fuel, which means we don't have to vent all this ice immediately. Oh god, I just realized we need the fluorine. And that's such a long way away. Ooh. Okay, we kind of want to just beeline it. So I need to get some more ice platforms by the looks of it. Yeah, that is climbing. That's brilliant. So what I need to do is figure out how on earth I'm going to get heat pipes all the way across here. We could probably just run them across like this, but I gotta make sure. Oh, that is scary. I have to make sure that I don't build too many heat pipes, because they're gonna drain all of the heat and kill the power again, and we can't afford to kill the power another time. Actually, I just had another brainwave. I'm gonna chat. I'm cooked, but I'm also cooking. What if I had a closed loop system where all of these heat pipes weren't connected to the rest of the network, but instead just connected to the power system? Oh, but we still need ice. Yeah, okay, hang on. We'll think about that later. We need to place down one of these, and then we need a heat pipe. Okay, I'm also going to break this into segments and then connect them up one at a time as we go, so that I don't accidentally kill all of our heat when we finally need to come to connecting everything. And then should be able to get away with just doing some underground pipes. And that's going to be the fluorine. We can't do anything with foundries, can we? We can't melt. Can we melt the ice in a foundry? No, it has to be a chemical plant. Why can't we do that in a foundry? And then with the fluorine, we need to turn it into fluoroketone, which needs solid fuel, lithium, fluorine, and ammonia. Fluoroketone. Wow, that's a lot of inputs. Okay. We need some pipes here. We got a pipe there. And then we need to turn that into cold fluoroketone with yet another cryogenic plant. I'm just going to mine the big chunks because they give you 2 platforms at a time. Alright, I'm just going to go for it. Come on. We need to turn this into cold. Which it's doing. Okay, cool. And then we can combine this fluoroketone with lithium plates and ice to make cryogenic science packs. I really wish there was an underground heat pipe. That would make things so much easier. If I plonk this down here, it's going to make the cryogenic science packs and the fluoroketone hot, which we can probably just pump back in straight there. Alright, here we go. Our first cryogenic science packs. There we go, the first one. Woohoo!